Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. Let me just give me a second, make sure I have a good audio. Okay, I can hear myself, so let me 1 second. All right, everybody on the chat, audio is good. Audio is good. Okay, good. All right. Well, today we're going to be talking about microscopes and microscope cameras. So now that I have a microscope, this is my microscope. It is an AM scope microscope. It is a good mid entry level microscope. It is not definitely not the cheapest one, but it's also not that expensive. It's around $629. So let me show you here to you. Let's see. All right, so you can see it there. So this is the microscope. It is a trinocular microscope. Now, when you purchase this microscope, if you purchase this microscope, it does not have the light on. That's something that you have to purchase separate. Now, when purchasing a light, you want to purchase a light with the highest light intensity as you can, and I will show you why in a second. But I mean, if it's too strong, you can always kind of dial it down, just turn it down, and you can control it here. Well, you cannot have too much light, especially with a microscope. So that's kind of that's I got this microscope. It is a trinocular microscope, which means that you have the both eyepieces, and you have the C mount for the camera. So this is where you place your camera on. So that's for me. That was something uh, very important for me to get a trinocular microscope because I was going to place a camera here so I can um, show you guys what I'm doing, what I'm doing the work, so you can see as well. It can be if I'm teaching class or if I'm making a video, you can see whatever I'm looking here. So now another reason why I got this microscope is because, as you can see, this microscope is on a base. So the base is here and it has the arm. I can move the microscope from the sides, and I can move it a little closer. It has the word right here, so I can move it that way. But I can move it up and down. I have a more freedom of movement here, and I don't have like an arm right here, and I don't have a base, which is still okay. You have one of those that has the arm and the base. They're still perfectly fine for doing tissue culture. But for me, I don't want to take like any chances. I want to have all of these. I want to be free. So I have my stereo air coming from the lamina flow hood coming to here. So whenever I'm working here on my cultures, do whatever work I'm doing here, I can keep it as stereo as possible. So um, that's kind of why I got this stereo microscope. So that's kind of what I have for the microscope. It is an AM scope, like I said, that's the brand. And I don't have any like affiliate links or anything like that. I just telling you that this is a very good microscope. You will be very happy with like the image or whatever, or the quality of the microscope and what you can see. Um, Now, from this company, they have a cheaper microscope and they have a lot way more expensive than that. Um, so any of these brands, you will be perfectly fine. Now, finding choosing the microscope was kind of the easy part. Getting the camera to work, or that's a lot more challenging. It has taken me um, quite some time. So I actually got this microscope before Christmas, and it was not just until like this week that I was essentially able to finally get a good setup where I have a good camera and then I can work using the eyepieces. So now let me tell you kind of what I went through. So the first thing I wanted to do is because, well, as you can see, this one has the mount already here. So my thought, now I have experience with microscopes, but I never set it up myself. Like I have used Microscope before, and with cameras, I have done that in the past, but I never had to set it up myself. So I thought I could just take like my phone. Like you can see, I have my phone here. I mean, it is a good phone, so it has a very good camera. So I thought like I was going to just place the phone like right here, and then that was it. That was all I want to do. However, it doesn't work like that. Let me show you what happens if you do that. So you can see the phone, and this is what happens. So you can see you cannot see pretty much anything. You can see that it's very zoom out. You cannot see anything. Now let me show you what I'm looking to the eyepiece. Oh, there is my plant that I'm working on, like a one piece of leaf. Now it's drying because I got it out of the tissue cutter. But yeah, you can see you cannot see anything to the eyepiece or to this C mount because well you actually need an eyepiece. So this is 10x by 20. So I say okay, well I want to get how is it called an eyepiece, and I got this one. So I got a 20x eyepiece. So if we put this eyepiece in here on top, and now let's look through the microscope. Let's see what can we see. So there we go. So we can see the leaf now. However, just take a look how much of the leaf we can see here. But when I look into the eyepiece, I see a lot more. I see a lot more of the. It's hard to see it. To do it. I can see a lot more of the leaf. So I'm losing about 50% of my viewing angle. So if I to the eyepiece I can see this much, I can see only about this much. So I'm losing a lot of view, or a lot of my view. So then I got another eyepiece. I got a 10x, and then I got it to match of what I was looking to my eyepieces. So that was good. Unfortunately, I mean, you can see this phone. I mean, it has 3 cameras. So right now, I don't have a problem to kind of set it up right here because it's only using the main camera, the main wide angle camera. Whatever, if I'm taking a video, it switches from the main camera to the micro camera every time that I try to place it right here. Even if I lock the focus on it, it doesn't work. Every time it's just very difficult to set it up. So it's like I cannot use this phone to do that. So I'll say, okay, well, I'm going to use my other phone. So there is my other phone right here that I'm using right now just to see on the stream. This is my old iPhone XR, which is just have a single camera right here. So I thought, well, I was going to use this camera just because it only has one camera, so I should be able to get it in there. The problem is that when you place it right here, I mean, I can even show you again, just trying to focus this and get it in the right position, it is very difficult. It's very difficult, and any single very slight movement of the phone will get will lose completely the view. So this was not really a good solution for me. So, well, next I decide, the next option was I decide, I want to use this. This is a DSLR camera. It's a Canon camera. Now, okay. Now, how do you place a DSLR camera in here? Well, you need another attachment, and this attachment is this right here. This is a DSLR attachment. So this is a DSLR attachment. This is special for Canon cameras. You can also get one for Nikons, Now, if you have a mirrorless camera, it's a little bit more complicated. Um, but this is the attachment. So to set it up, you have to set it up, you have to remove the lens of your camera and place the place this other attachment right here. All right. So this is how it looks. Let's see. Do you think of the jigs for mobile phone cameras? What do you think of the jigs for mobile phone cameras on the C mount? So you talking the bases like the I bought one of those. The one that kind of attaches here, and then you place your camera on top, like it kind of holds the camera in place. It didn't work for me that well because the eyepiece, which is very short. I basically have to whenever I put right here, it has to clamp from this area, and the phone is really heavy. So what will happen? The phone is very heavy. So what will happen is if I have the camera right here, it just kind of falls to the side, so it doesn't stay in place. Especially if I'm moving a little while, it just doesn't stay in place. So it wasn't really worth for me. If you can get it to work, I mean that's a good option. That's the cheapest option by far to use your phone and to match your eyepiece. So you have to make sure to see what the eyepieces you are using for the uh, when for this side. You have to match it for the C mount, so you can have the same viewing angle from here and from here. So that's kind of the thing that it works. But for me, for if I want to teach, or yeah, if I just want to teach or show something for somebody, if I'm making a video, it may not be that much of a deal of big deal, because I can always record it again and then I can show and then do it again, which is not really ideal. But if I'm teaching live, um, I'm going to spend a lot of time just kind of trying to adjust this so I can see it. Because if I on the microscope right here, and then the other person is going to look to my phone, maybe connected to like a monitor or something. So it won't be good if I had to constantly keep adjusting. So that's what kind of the phone didn't work for me. So now we have the DSLR camera. So I have it here. So to connect it is kind of the same thing. So I just want to remove the eyepiece. I'm going to turn it on. Place it right here. Give me 1 second. There's the camera. There we go. Now you can see it is out of focus right now. And to making the camera focus, you have to kind of lose this screw and adjust the height of this, which is also not that great. So let me show you. So just to get adjusted, let me lose this, and just about right there. Yeah, about right there is fine. Now, so we have our picture. Now, there are a couple of problems here. The first problem, well, let me get some water first. Now, the first problem that I have here is that the image is too dark. Now, how to adjust this? It took me a while to figure out, but if you are just trying to take a video which I'll connect it to like your computer. Now this is a Canon, so I can get to the it is called ES. What is the name of this camera? Is the EOS utility software that Canon has, where basically it uses your camera as like a webcam. I did that, but I couldn't get the image adjusted. I had to increase all the ISO to the max level to be able to get some more light into the image. And if you do that on a DSLR camera, I mean, this is a DSLR camera, so it's a very good camera, but you lose a lot of the quality of the image. It doesn't look good. It looks very bad. It looks very grainy. So, well, actually, I was trying to set up this stream a couple of days ago. I figured out that actually you can adjust it much better using OBS. So, if I go to OBS, now also another thing is that the image is actually upside down, but I can fix it right here. So you give me 1 second. I can just go to OBS. I can rotate the image 180 degrees, and now you can see now this is the right weight now. Why is my 1 second? Okay, my face camera disappeared for one moment. You may want to adjust f stop to f11 to f16. What is that for? F stop, F11, or F15? What is that for? Okay, but okay, so I adjusted the correct size, so now I can see it. So the image is not upside down anymore. Now I need to adjust the image of the camera. So I just going to let's see, where did I set color? No. Hmm. Oh, have a filter. I need to add an effect filter, and then say color key. Better focus on the camera. Um, I'll have to work on that, but the because it uses this lens, like with this lens, I mean, you can obviously, you can rotate this, and you can use your zoom, depth of field. Um, I'm not sure if you can do it with this. I will have to check on that later on. I'm not very familiar with this camera, uh, but over here, I can do. Let's see if I can. Well, actually, that's as bright as it gets right now. Maybe because I was working with a lighter leaf earlier, I was able to get a little bit more. That's too bright. I was able to get a little bit better view on it, but I think that's probably maybe as good as it can be. Let me try to add another effect. Uh, Correction. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Okay, let me delete this other one. Ooh, this computer doesn't like to live stream. It's very laggy my computer right now. Okay, so gamma. Want to increase the gamma a little bit, and the brightness a little bit less. Well, I think that looks a little better. Okay, so yeah, you to OBS you can do a much better job correcting that to the actual app for like a EOS utility. So that's kind of the other option that you can do with this. Now I'm getting um, another problem that I cannot solve is that this um, lens is a 2x. So what happened is that I'm losing about 50% in my image again. To the eyepieces that I can see right here, I can see the entire lip, and I can see even more than that. Uh, maybe you can change the ISO of the camera to get something less. Um, from the camera, I tried already. I couldn't get it to work that well. Like I just shooting. Well, let me switch to I just switch to menu right now. So you can see that. So it's so dark. Well, actually, look at it. Maybe. Do it look better right here? It's adjustable on the lens. It closes the lens opening down to focus on the ring distance. Okay, I would try that. After the lighting, I would try to adjust that and see if I can get it to work. But let me know how it looks now. I think it looks a little better now that I can play with this. Now I switched it from arrow to menu. So that's all what I did, and then I just increase the ISO. That's all I have done now. I think it looks, you can see a little better now. But like I said, I'm still looking at something like 50% of your image. So that's something to keep in mind. But I mean, if you are good with the DSLR cameras, which I'm not, clearly, yeah, it looks better. Yeah. So yeah, if you are good with the DSLR cameras, it may be the best option. Actually, if you already have a DSLR camera, this lens is around $120 for both for the Nikon or for the Canon. You can get it to Amazon. So if it doesn't really work for you, you can potentially just return it. So that's kind of my take on that. If you're using a DSLR camera, just try it and see if it works for you. If it works for you, that's great. As you can see, I'm connecting to the mini HDMI cord, which is connected to my computer, which is how I'm live streaming right now. If I'm like, let's say I'm in class or anything on teaching, I can just connect it to my laptop as well. And then let's say that, so I'm teaching somebody and I look into the microscope and then I doing the work and they can see it to either the monitor or they can see it to my computer. And the same way around, if somebody is working here on the microscope, I can see what they are doing to the monitor or to the laptop. So that's kind of another way to get this to work. So now the third option, the other option is to get a camera that is essentially made for another camera that is made for a microscope. Can you write up the specs of the DSLR camera lens and well, can you write up the specs of the DSLR? The DSLR camera is a EOS Rebel T7i. The specs, this lens, you type pretty much anywhere on like AM scope. Actually, I can write here. 1 second. I can write it right here. So it is an AM scope DSLR adapter, and this is a Canon. So that's all you have to do. If you type that, it should come out. So the way this sensor, let me take it off again. It is two parts. So it is the how this is called, the T adapter, which you can get this in a lot of places online. So this just kind of connects the same way you would connect your lens to the camera. And then this just kind of have screws inside where you just kind of screw this other area. And that's kind of it. I think this is $129 for this. So again, this is if you already have a DSLR camera, this may be a good option because I mean it cannot keep it very stable in here. So that's great. The trying to get it to focus exactly, it may be a little difficult because like I said, you have to, at least on this microscope, you have to unscrew this this screw, and then you can move it a little bit up and down to be able to focus. So it takes a little bit of practice, but it's not that bad. Whenever I use it for the first time, I absolutely hate it because I couldn't, I was really struggling to get it to focus, but now it's not that bad. Um, all right, so the last thing I want to show you is this is a camera. This is made by Hydgear. This is a camera made for microscopes. So this camera is about, how much is this camera? It's about the same thing. It's around $110, $115. Now this camera by itself is not going to do anything. You have to get your reduction lens. What is, I think that is how it's called. Now when Amazon is smart enough that it shows you, when I get the camera, it was the camera by itself. Not teaching, you don't really need a camera. Yes, so if you don't care about like taking videos or teaching or anything, you don't even need to get a trinocular microscope. You can just use the binocular microscope. You can either even connect, like I can unscrew this eyepiece right here. Sorry. You can unscrew this eyepiece right here, take this lens off, and I can place the whole camera in here. And that's another way that you can do it with a binocular. You don't need a trinocular microscope to connect a camera. The problem is that, well, not the problem, but I like I don't think I know anyone who, whenever is using a microscope and then it finds is whatever is looking is like, oh, this looks pretty cool. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to grab their phone and they're going to try to take a picture to the eyepiece. And you can see it's very difficult to do it. It's very difficult just to keep it stable, or take a video, keep it stable, and just take a picture. And the picture doesn't look that great. Um, so if you have a camera, or at least I would essentially recommend to at least get a trinocular, because you have that option to essentially place a camera if you want to down the road. So that's kind of my thing. So yeah, so this camera is around $115. Amazon is smart enough to recommend you other things to get for this camera as well. So when I purchased this, it recommended to get this. This let me show you here. Oh, where is my cursor? One moment. Okay, guys, give me 1 second because OBS or my computer kind of froze. Okay. I cannot switch. I try to reconnect it. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Oh, I was panicking. Do you work with a camera and display for tissue culture, or just only? So, like I said, I just got the microscope. So I will, because I want to be making videos and teaching class, I want to be working with this, because for me it's better to see it to the eyepieces, because you have a 3D image than looking to a monitor. If I'm looking to a monitor, it is a lot more difficult to coordinate your eyes and coordinate your hands. So let's say I'm working here and then I'm looking at my screen like I'm doing right now. It's a lot more difficult to know where my hands are and then to work like that than if I'm working directly to the eyepiece. Basically, the microscope is becoming a part of my eyes, where I can have a lot more better work like this. I can have more precise work working like this. So I was going to show you this. So when I got the camera, it recommends to get this. this 0.35 reduction lens, which there is on like a focus adjustment, and also recommends to get one of these things. It is one of these rings. So this is an additional like a spacer, because what happened, let me show you, let me place this camera here and let me show you how it looks like. So this just screws here. Okay, and now I need to take this out, which you can do it with just an Allen wrench here. And I will move this cable out of the way here in a second. So you take this off, place it on a safe place, and place the camera here, which it just barely reaches from my computer. Okay, there we go. Now check this out. Okay, so now we're looking to this camera, which right now is completely out of focus. All right, so to focus this camera, you have to rotate this this right here. So you have to rotate this so you can get match the focus of the camera with your eyepieces. So let's do that. Okay. As you can see, it doesn't work because I need that spacer. So I need this little ring. So let me put it on. So to place this ring, I want to take this off. Okay. I have to unscrew this. And now I'm going to place the spacer in and screw it. There we go. Let's place this back. Okay, let's check this out now. Okay, so now you can see it there. All right. Okay. Now you can see the leaf now. It is in focus. Now the problem that we have is that, well, you can see it has these edges on the outside. It has these black edges on the outside. So that doesn't look too good. Now let me see. Let me try to correct the image. Kind of looks a little not great. So that's another thing. That's why I say that you want to get the brightest lights as you can, just so you can. Yeah, that's the color correction that I had yesterday. So I can probably try to adjust it a little better, but yeah, it doesn't really do much. So yeah, this image doesn't look great. So the 0.35 lens, not the best, which is what Amazon recommended and what I have seen some people use, but you can clearly see it has some of those round edges. So what I actually got another one. I got another lens. This is I got another one. This one right here is 0.5. So this is a 0.5 lens. Now I already put the spacer here because again, if you don't have the spacer, it just doesn't focus. So let me set it up on the camera. Let's see how it looks like. So far I think the DSLR looks the best. But let's see how it looks with this other lens and this camera. So because yesterday I got better results using this than the DSLR, but now that you gave me some ideas on what to do with the DSLR, I may be able to work something out. So okay, so you can see we don't have those like we don't have those black edges on the on the sides, and now we can see the leaf. Now I do lose a little bit of the view, but it's not that terrible. It's very close to what I can see right now, so that's good. Now it doesn't look great as you can see. Let's see. What is the resolution of the digital camera? Can you flip the microscope desk so the background is black to the compare? Like, do you want me to put like a black background underneath? Let me see. Let me see if I have something black. Well, the font is not going. If the font is black, but it's not going to. Yeah, no. Let me grab something black. 1 second. Yep. Yeah, definitely the lens is for sure. Now I have a black background, but it's shiny, so I don't know how it will work. Oh, you honestly, you know what? Actually, kind of helps. It is a black, so you can see it's a black. Um, it's a black background right now, and yeah, the well, it's the I'm on the lamina flow hood, so that's the stainless steel base. What you can see, but yeah, you can see the reflection actually. Yeah, I mean, I honestly I think I'm learning more from you guys right now that I was about to show you, but yeah, you can see there with the stainless steel. And let's put this on the back. Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely with the background, much better. Now this is a black background. Let me see if even if a white would do the same. So let me just put up like a piece of paper. Let me see if I use a plain piece of paper. What would do something? There was something on the Facebook group about preferred lenses. I will look for it. Okay. So let's see what white will look like. Oh, I think white still has a low reflection. Yeah. Yeah. So this is white. This is stainless steel. And this is black. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely a dark background looks way better. Huh. Okay. Yeah, something I just learned. Oh yeah, even to the eyepieces. I mean, with the eyepieces, it doesn't matter. I can just be like this um with the stainless steel, and it is fine because I'm looking directly to the eyepieces, so it looks good. But yeah, to the camera, it does look better if I'm using something underneath. So yeah, that's good. All right. But yeah, this is so you. Oh yeah, somebody asking what is this camera. So this camera, it is supposed to be like a 34 megapixels microscope camera. Now it's a Chinese camera. The 34 megapixel, I don't think that's I don't know if it's real or not. Now, with microscope, something that I have here, or some people say that the megapixel doesn't really it is as important because you're actually using the lenses, non-reflective black background. Those cop USB cameras are hard to get correction with. Yeah, yeah. This doesn't have like a auto correction as well, so you have to try to do it yourself. But this is another setup which, I mean, the image looks kind of right. Um, Now let's compare now back with the DSLR. Let's see how it looks. Let's do that pretty quick before I move on to something else. Uh, let's see how we get what image we get with the DSLR now. Because first it was too dark. Let's see what we get now. Auto exposure range, like is huge. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Need to put this back. But yeah, I guess if you have a DSLR camera, that lens that may be your best option. The only problem will be like you are losing your field of view. But if you can correct that to the camera, that will be good. But I don't know how to do that. I will have to look through the instructions on the camera. Let's see. We are on Canon. Oh, why does it look like that? Oh, there we go. Ah, okay. Well, it offers more editing options for post production. The megapixel, yeah, that's for sure. How does it look like now? Let me. I'm still shooting on a menu. F stop. Now, how do I look that the F stop? How do I essentially Google that for my camera? Um, they keep upgrading those USB cameras in terms of value for money. Francisco is using a 34 megapixel. The last one I bought is 8 megapixel and it's not great. Yeah. So, I mean, it actually looks kind of good. Let's, let's try this other background. Oh, yeah. You can, you can see it's very overexposed. Oh, well, it loses the focus because I kind of move it down a little. But, I mean, even there, it looks all right. Everything is really overexposed. But the lip looks okay. But yeah, if I put a darker background, yeah, it looks much better. Canon Sensor looks better, no? Well, like this one, yeah, yeah, it looks better than. It's definitely going to be. This camera is definitely going to be. The DSLR is definitely going to be better than this other uh, microscope camera. That's for sure. So yeah, I mean that looks all right. Um, I think the only thing will be if I can get a wider field of view. That's kind of my only thing. If I can get that, I mean, the DSLR will definitely be the way to go. I was honestly before this live stream, I was going to say just to get one of these, but now actually I'm not sure because looks like the with a dark background and with menu settings on the DSLR, that may be a way to go. You need like middle gray, maybe. You know what? Let me just give me a few seconds. I'm pretty sure I have those backgrounds. Give me 1 second. All right, yes. So I have more backgrounds. Give me one moment. Let me clear out my space a little. Right, so I have a red. Let's see how red looks like. Just for where is my leaf? Here's my leaf. Now, obviously, I'm using a petri dish, which I will be using a petri dish um, because I won't be doing my tissue culture right next to the right on like the base. I will definitely be using a petri dish. So if I'm not using the petri dish, it may look better, but I have to use the petri dish. Very good idea on the background. Now let's get it sterile. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean like yeah. Right now I just have the lamina flow hood is off, so it's definitely not sterile. But I can just turn it on and it will be sterile. Now that is red, which definitely not a good great background. It's more like a cream peach color. Yeah, look at that. Maybe try to put a gray paper directly under the petri dish as an experiment in the future. Grayscale, now something else that I can do, and used to use a petri dish to do my tissue culture, and used to do that. But I could potentially also use paper. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I can potentially also use paper. So if I found some like a great gray or like black paper, I can just sterilize that. Where did my leaf go? There is. I can just sterilize the paper, and then I can use the paper instead. So that's another option. So okay, so that's all right. So there we go. So this is the gray color. Mm, yeah, stereo paper. So like I will essentially sterilize the paper. That's what I would do. Instead of using the petri dish, I would use sterilized paper. I work on the paper. So I will have to every time I will have to change paper. Like you can use paper towels as well, but if I potentially I can just find some like a gray or like darker paper, and I can also use that as well. So yeah, this is about the grass law. You can yeah, you can autoclave paper. Yeah, for sure. Um, you what you would do is you take paper. Like one of the things that I do is like you can take some like old magazines, so like junk mail. You can cut them, and then you can just fold them and place it into like some aluminum foil, like wrap it on aluminum foil. Throw those in the autoclave for the same time you're making your media. You take it out and the paper is sterile. Now, whenever you take each piece of paper, you have to be careful. Don't touch it with your hands. You're going to grab it with like some sterile forceps, and then you can place it and then work on that. And then after a couple of plants and there it gets too wet or something, carry out the paper and then just grab a new one. So that's another great way to do tissue culture, just to keep everything sterile. So yeah, this is great. I think it looks good. Um, yeah, yeah. Some other microscopes, they have like the how's it called? Well, they had the arm, and then they had the base, which a lot of the times they had that disc, and the disc actually has light also coming from the bottom. So that's another thing why I'm getting like I cannot have to sacrifice with the use of this microscope where the arm is on the side, that it doesn't have that, because you can see the image. If I don't adjust it to the camera settings, it looks too dark. So that's another thing. Okay, so this is great. Let's switch now to blue. So this is light blue. I think this the reflection on this might be a little too high now. There is my leaf. Yeah, I think gray looks better. I think this looks a little bit more, definitely more reflection around the edges of the leaves, of the leaf. Let's try black. So this is black. Yeah, black looks gray as well. Yeah, so what you guys think here? I think black looks okay. So let me pull out this. 1 second. Let me make this my base and move this stuff around. There we go. Okay. Now let me move the yeah, black is better on contrast. 1 second. Now let me, I'm really zoom in. Let me zoom out. Now right here. I'm too overexposed. Well, first thing I need to do is the light settings. Do you mean like turn it down? Well, first I need to place it on focus. So that's kind of another thing. Is like with this camera, with this camera, I can very gently turn it around and really get that focus, get that on focus. So this is a lot easier to focus. With this other camera, you can see I had to unscrew it here, and I had to manually adjust it just right. So about maybe around right there. Yeah, you can see if I let it drop completely out of focus. So about there. So now I tie this screw again, and yeah. So yeah, I can see it's on focus on the eyepieces. Now I to the screen I can just see the entire piece of leaf right here, but to the eyepieces I see a lot more. So that's kind of one of the things that I'm worried is that whenever let's say that I'm working here, let's say that I'm working here with the leaf, I can work on this area, but if I move it right here, which is still on my field of view, you don't see anything. So that's kind of one of my issue right here, that I need to see if I can figure out how to open the field of view from the camera. Because again, I had to keep everything right straight on the middle so you can see something. Because as soon as I move right here, like you can see it's out of the view, but I can perfectly see it to the eyepieces. So that's something to I need to work on that. Now while I'm here, what about if I actually show you some actual work? So I want to take this. These are actually contaminated, so I don't really care that much. So I just want to do this with the hood out, off. You can hear a little better. But I have some Venus flytraps. Let me just drop it here. And let's just kind of just have fun with it. Let's just remove some of these leaves and let's see how it looks. So let's start with the forceps. So you can see right here. So I just want to take I just want to remove the leaves. That's what I want to do. Now, you have any other questions? Just let me know. So let's carry out these dead leaves. But yeah, it's definitely a lot easier to work to the eyepieces than, let's say, if I'm working looking at the screen. It is a lot more difficult because when you're looking on like a 2D image, uh, yeah, so when you're looking on a 2D image, and also my eye coordination is a lot more difficult. So you can see, it's like where is my other force? I cannot find it. I have to look down, so I can see where it is. But if I look into the eyepieces, I don't have that issue. It's a lot easier to just kind of work like this. So it's going to be removing um, this off. So I'm going to get rid of this leaf. Let's see how close I can get to that meristem. Now, I have never done it with a fly trap, so that will be interesting. But as you can see, like I'm not looking at the screen, so I know I have moved it a couple times out of the frame. So that will be another thing. Like after this stream, I will go to the menu for the camera for the DSLR and see if I can find the settings to see if I can get open the field of view. How does it look? I think it looks alright. The view looks alright. I don't have the place on my laminar flow hood to put a microscope. Yeah, yeah. I mean that's another thing. The microscope, it does takes a lot of space here on the laminar flow hood, so um, that's unfortunate. It is also very heavy. I'm just be surprised how heavy this microscope is. Uh, but it has to. I mean, because it's on an arm, it has to be really heavy. Um, I mean, you can see it's holding the weight of the microscope and the camera, so it has to be um, has to be heavy. All right, so you can see I have the rhizome now right here. Let me grab it. Let's carry all these roots. There we go. Buttons. I'm already live for an hour. Hasn't feel like it's been an hour. Okay. Oops. So yeah, I just want to keep peeling this off. You know what? Let me grab this couple. Off topic, but no, yes, for sure. So you can see I'm using this quite pointy forceps, which makes it a lot easier. Like these forces here on the left, a little bit more difficult to use than these forces on the right. You can see they are more pointy. And these are the small forceps. Like this is a little bigger. Now this is the size, my favorite size for forceps right here. This is a little small. You can see the size difference. So this is a little small. This is feels a little more comfortable. I have a larger ones. This, but trying to do this on like a microscope work. Let me try. It's not going to be easy. Like yeah, there is no way I can do work like this. I mean, you can see how big these the forceps are, especially if you're doing apical stem, where the apical stem is tiny. You need like a really pointy forceps and the scalpel. Sometimes you actually use a lot of people they feel more comfortable using the two scalpels and the pointy ones like this one to be able to do the work. Let's see, I'm on focus. Yeah. Well, actually, let me just do this. And obviously, when doing this, you want to keep everything sterile. I'm not right now. I just kind of just messing around with this. It's kind of playing. But yeah, a lot of times, like if you have plants, because I seen kind of lately on some of the Facebook groups that there are some people trying to sterilize plants like from the steams, and they like the nodes, and they leave part of the steam on with the apical stem. But if you can take some of these, like take the shoot tip out, and remove as many leaf primordia as you can. Now you don't have to use a microscope. You can do this on with your bare eyes. Just remove some of those leaf primordia. The more leaf primordia you can do, the cleaner the plant, the inside of the plant is. So the easier or the better chances you get to of success of getting the plant sterile. So yeah, I'm not sure if I, like I say, I never done like a fly trap, so I don't know what to look for here for like the apical meristem. But yeah, I can pretty much completely open this plant, and I didn't find anything. So I don't know if I'm doing like a philodendron. That's I have done a lot more philodendrons than fly traps or some other plants. So I was not I didn't even know what to expect with the fly trap. Um, Let me grab another one pretty quick. Okay. And yeah, I just grabbing it with my hand because yeah. Okay, here's a new plant. Now, do you want me to go really close? Well, let me take some of this leaf, and then I want to go really close up. See what I can do. Yeah, so I can do this with a knife as well, if I can grab it. But let's say, okay, this is a contaminated plant. So what I would do to place it back in tissue culture, I will essentially um, sterilize on bleach, and then I will remove all of these leaves out, and then just get to the inside of the rhizome and place that in tissue culture. Um, so actually, I have an example from a syngonium that got contaminated, and the contamination was around the plants, around the leaves, and um, around the leaves and kind of the root area. All I did was I took that out of the my tissue culture flask. Then I completely destroyed this plant. Yeah, so all I did is I took it out um, of the tissue culture, and I spray with alcohol. That's all I did. I sprayed with alcohol, and then I did like a shook tip culture to the plant, and I placed it back in tissue culture, and they haven't contaminated yet. So let me show it to you. Well, I'm going blind to see this amazing from me. Um, yeah, no, same for me. I mean, I don't have the best vision. I wear contacts, so um, If I don't wear my contacts, I won't be able to see it. Now, actually, I'm very surprisingly good to do this by hand, doing shop tips even without the microscope, but it really hurts my eyes. So having a microscope really helps me out. Well, let me show you that culture that I told you. One second. All right, so this, let me let me grab my phone. iPhone. Okay, so this Sangonian milk confetti was contaminated. It was badly contaminated. I'll have to, maybe I will upload a picture of the plant when it was contaminated. But now I got, it was like, this was before Christmas when I re-sterilized it, and there is no contamination. So you can see is that I took the I did a shoot tip culture. This one I went too far, where I essentially the tip didn't survive. I killed the tip, so this one is dead. But the other ones are growing. It's like this one is growing. This one is growing right here. It's even growing a new leaf, which is great. You can probably it's very hard to focus, but like right here, that's what I made the cut, and then the new leaf is coming out. This bigger one, this I left this leaf, but this leaf is new right here, and there is no contamination. Let me see if I can, and I won't be able to get it to the microscope, I don't think. Let me see if I, there is no way this will work. This is going to work. Uh, yeah, there is no way this is going to work on the microscope. Yeah, there is no, okay, well, yeah, there is no way this is going to work on the microscope. This, but yeah, I re-sterilize this plant with just alcohol. Essentially, I was like was contaminated, took it out very carefully with the forceps. I took it out with one forceps. I grabbed I took it out with the forceps. I took the whole thing, like let's say I'm doing this. I took it out the whole thing. I took the contaminated media out with just doing this with my other forceps, being careful not to spread the contamination around. And all I did essentially is I grab my alcohol bottle and then I place it into another cup and then I just spray it with the alcohol for like 2 minutes. That was it. And I didn't even rinse it. I just sprayed with alcohol, left it like I let it like air dry, and then I took it to the microscope, and then I just remove all the exterior leaves to remove like I make sure they didn't have any the contaminants from the outside because I knew the leaves on the outside will be contaminated, but the leaves on the inside, the leaf primordia, everything that is still covered, it will be sterile, it will be clean. So I just remove all of those contaminated leaves, and then I just left what I knew it was essentially clean. So I just place it back in here, and they are growing fine. I don't see any contamination, and like, it's been over a month. Yes, this media has ppm, but it's been over a month, and there is no contamination. But the amount of contaminants that it was in here, all the fungal contamination, um, it will be already contaminated by now, but it's still fine. So, um, well, let's place this back in here. Canon. There we go. So you can see the mess that I just did with these leaves. Well, it looks okay. Actually, I'm quite happy with the image quality. Now, obviously, you are look seeing this image through the live stream, so it will be the it won't look as good as I see him here live. Live right here, I'm pretty sure it looks much better for what you can see on the. Actually, let me look on my phone. It looks kind of right, but definitely the quality is not the same as what I'm looking to my monitor. So, but let me just to verify. Let me switch cameras again. Let's try that microscope camera again. Let's see what I got now. Well, yeah, what it was called again? Um, was it the F sensor or something like that? F2 or F4, something like that. And what do you think about my new setup? Uh, I just kind of set it up the last couple of days, where now I'm live streaming with using the other camera, and then I essentially F stop. Okay, thank you. I can now connect the microscope cameras, either the DSLR or this one, or like my phone, as you can see, to do the live stream. All right, let's check this one out. Now I need to get a deck stream because trying to do this with the keyboard is no fun. Okay, there it is. Um, uh, okay, clearly I'm overexposed, but let me see if I can fix that with the. Let me see if I can fix that with the on the settings. So if I go to here, let me show you what I'm doing here. If I can, maybe not. Oh, I don't think I'll be able to. Yeah, I won't be able to. Okay, well let me try to do it here. Um, color correction. Oh yeah, I think that's better. That's too much. All right there. So you just have to kind of play with it. I think that looks good. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for now. Let me know what you think. Okay. Now let me clean all this kind of mess, and let me just kind of set where I what I'm looking to. That's lovely. What software are you using? There is no software. This is just OBS. That's what I'm using, which is free. You can get it both on Mac or Windows. I'm using my Mac, which I'll be honest is struggling a little for the with the stream. Um, but that's okay. Let's see. One second. Let me grab a better leaf. Trying to get a flat leaf. Right there. Okay, I think right there is okay. Okay, let me see if I can make a little brighter now. Okay, color correction, brightness. I don't know if OBS is available on Linux. I mean, you can see I can really overexpose or I can really go really dark. But I think there looks pretty good. Yeah, what do you guys think there? Okay, let me leave it here for a few seconds. What do you guys think? I want you. Looks good. Okay. Try to save this image on your head right now. What do you think? Well, I just look on the stream. It's just I still have to wait a little bit so you can see the final image of what I'm looking right now. Um, I want to switch back to the DSLR camera, and I want you guys to let me know which. I'm not going to touch anything, any of the settings. You just want to let me know which one looks best, and also keep in mind how much of that leaf you can see. So you can see part of the trap, and you can see most of the leaf. So that viewing angle, because I want to switch cameras and let's see how does the viewing angle change and what the quality of the image, how the quality of the image change. So let's do that. And again, like I said, I can use really fine focus, so I can focus on the leaf or I can focus on the trap. You can see I'm focusing on the trap right now. And then if I just slightly move, now I kind of I'm focusing on the leaf. It's kind of very sensitive still. Do you have a diaphragm f-stop on the microscope? I have no idea what that is. I have to look it up. Okay, so that's the image. Okay, let me just look this up. That's this image. Let me take it off. Place this back. Now we're back on the Canon. Okay, so that's the image I'm getting from the DSLR. And you can see the previous image that I had with the other camera. So you can clearly see now it's a little grainy now. I will adjust the autofocus in a second, but you can still see the field of view. With the other camera, I was getting a much wider field of view. I was getting you could see the entire trap and most of the leaf. Now I'm losing like about 40-50% of the image now. So let me try to focus this a little better. But right there, I think that's a little better in focus. So yeah, that's kind of the difference. I think the DSLR has a great potential if you can adjust that angle of view. But this other camera is also a great option. This is how much is this setup? It is 150, about $160 US dollars. This is what this setup with this camera is. Which is a much lighter camera. I mean, you can see how bulky the DSLR is. Both have to be connected with a cable. Well, this one doesn't have to be connected with a cable. You can directly take video from the camera. Now, trying to get it to focus with the camera, just with the camera, is very difficult. It's much better if you have connected to either like to OBS or like to the other software to connect the camera. And yeah, first one seems better, like this one. Yeah, you have a wider field angle view. But like I say, if I can get this to get a wider view angle, I think this also can potentially be even better. But I'll have to see if I can get it that done. Um, but kind of lost what I was going to say. But yeah, you had to have another. You had to connect it to the to a monitor so you can see what you're doing with this, because the camera, the screen from the camera, I mean, you can only do too much with that one. It's not that great. So it's better you have it connected to a monitor. So you still have to run a cable. With this one, you also run a cable, and this is a USB. This is the same cable that you would use on like a printer. Is a USB B, I think that's what the printers use. Is USB A is the square one. USB C is the one that a lot of the phones use, and USB I think is B is the one that uses for like printers. Now you can also connect this camera using an HDMI cable, so you can connect this directly to a monitor or to a a TV. You can connect directly to that, or you can if you are using the HDMI cable, you have to connect the power cable, which is have the power cable right here. I could connect this directly to the monitor, and you can also place an SD card, a mini SD card, micro SD card here, and take video like that, or take pictures, and uh, use the controller, the remote control to kind of control it, which is not a great control to be honest. It's very slow, but that's another way to use it. With this one, obviously, it has the battery, which you have to change it if it runs out of battery. You can connect the, um, I mean the SD card is connected there, so you can record video or take pictures directly from the camera, or like I'm doing right now, I'm live streaming, so I'm essentially recording. I can just hit record and start recording as well. So that's kind of another option that you have. But yeah, that's kind of what you get from this camera. Let's see how well. I think that's as close as I can get. Well, maybe. Let's see. How close can I get? Oh yeah, that's it. I could get closer, but I would have to move the arm lower for me to get closer. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I mean, this is a great microscope. It is fantastic. You are only going to use this as a microscope if you are not interested into doing pictures or videos. You can just use this microscope or any binocular microscope in the range of like 300 to 500, maybe $600, and I think you'll be perfectly fine. But if you want to get place a camera, you definitely want to have one with the trinocular. Like I said, you can use just one of the eyepieces, but if you're using one of the eyepieces, you have to look on the monitor while you're working, which, like I say, you are looking on a 2D image, so it's not as easy as looking directly to the eyepieces. So it's a little more difficult. Um, but yeah, um, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to play with the settings on this camera on the DSLR, see if I can get a wider image. Um, but I think I want to end up keeping this setup where I had this camera and remember I'm using the let me show you again here. So I want to be keeping this camera and I'm using one spacer and the 0.5x lens. So that other 0.35 lens, which is a little smaller. With this one, you have those black edges at the end. So I won't be using this. I actually want to return this back to Amazon. So that's kind of another reason that I purchased this to Amazon, because to Amazon is very easy to make returns. So I want to be returning this because I don't need it. Um, and what else? I mean, I think that's it. Oh, another reason I got this microscope was also because I got it from Amazon. And like I said, I don't have like any affiliate links or anything. But with Amazon, I got this microscope on 5 months no interest. So basically, I will be paying like 100 and something dollars per month. So that's pretty decent. So that's kind of why I also decided to use to go to get this microscope, because it was not going to be that expensive. So that's those are the options that you have. So my opinion, let's recap. In my opinion, the phone is the cheapest option, but they are not really good um, phone holders to hold it in place, because phones now are massive. I mean, this phone is really big. It's the Max, is the iPhone 14 Pro Max. It is very big and it's very heavy. So you can see if it's trying to use to stay from here, it just moves. It doesn't stay. You just want to fall a little. So it just doesn't stay in place. You don't see the image well. So that's kind of the worst options. Um, so this is the worst option. And I mean, I guess you can use either the DSLR or these microscope cameras. The microscope cameras are a lot easier to use plug and play for what I have found. They are designed to work with microscopes, so that's kind of um, the easy way to do it. Um, well, again, like if you get in this camera, it can vary by camera, obviously, but I have found that a zero point 0.5 magnification and one of these rings. Like I got a lot of rings because I wasn't sure how many rings I was going to need, so I got 10, but only one. That was enough for me to be able to get it to focus. Yeah, I mean this is still um, from Ray. Yeah, I think I mean this is still a very affordable setup. I could have got an Olympus microscope, dye 18 microscope, but those are crazy expensive. Or what is this other brand? Saints, something like that. I think it's like a Swedish company. But those microscopes, I mean, you are already talking $2,000-3,000. This setup is still under $1,000. So, uh, like I do a lot of tissue culture, so it's very justified. But even if you are still like a hobbyist, I think you can potentially justify the use of this microscope. Especially, like I say, you get it on payments with like I got a 0%, 5 months 0% interest, so that's pretty good. Um, but yeah, you have to get well the microscope, the light is separate, and then the camera. Now you can get the whole setup by AM Scope or other companies that they already have the camera and the light and everything. When you get a combo, I think you're overpaying for the camera because they are trying to sell you their cameras that they're using, and I haven't tried them yet, or I haven't tested them, but I don't think you will get like that much better image of what I got with this one. I think this I have seen a lot of people recommend this camera, and they seems to be pretty decent. Um, yeah, yeah, for sure you can get a used microscope. I been looking for one for the last 2 years, so I kind of gave up on that. Um, if there was a point, a time, like a couple of years ago, where I wasn't really interested into getting a microscope, and I used to see them all the time, and now I cannot find them. Like I mean, like my university does allow like a how to, surplus auctions. That's how I got the laminar flow hood. You already know about that. Where I got this laminar flow hood for $36 from university auction, and uh, and then I made a video about it, where you can get very cheap lab equipment, and it is on the YouTube channel, so you can find it. Like, how is it called? I think I don't remember the title of that video, but it's something like how to find or how to get a laminar flow hood for less than $100, I think, or something like that. You can find it on the channel. But yeah, you can go to this website, gobdeals.com, and you can find surplus stuff, everything, furniture, lab equipment, and office stuff, cars, a lot of stuff there for very cheap. But after I made a video, that's kind of I haven't been able to find cheap stuff anymore. I think the cheapest laminar flow hood that I saw was close to like $200 to $500. But I'm not looking like every single day. So what's that website equipment for sale? I want to type it here on the chat. It's called gobdeals.com. Let me type it here on the chat first. Also here on my setup, you cannot see it, but I mean I have my camera right next to it, so I have my um, keyboard and my mouse. Um, gobdeals. I think it's .com. It may be .gov, but you go check there. But like I said, it may be .gov. But if you just type Gov deals on Google, just like that, without anything else, it should pop up. New prices in US are around 6K. Yeah, the laminar flow hoods are really expensive. This laminar flow hood, I looked it up whenever I was new. Now this is actually quite old. It's a thermoforma scientific, so it's a part of like a Fisher brand from like early 2000s. So it's around 20 years old. Now I cannot restore it, so I cannot give it a paint and everything. So it looks great and it works perfectly fine. And but yeah, this laminar flow hood brand new. This even has the UV light, which is off right now, obviously, but I can turn off the UV light. This brand new was around $6,000 to $7,000, and this is the small one. This is only 4 foot wide, which is kind of perfect for me. It's still very heavy, but it's kind of perfect for me. But they are the 6 or the 8 foot wide. I also made a video where just after the video that I made on the website, where I was bidding for an 8 foot biosafety cabinet, which is also a laminar flow hood, which I lost on the last second. Um, I lost it for like $180. It was very cheap as well. But honestly, if I would have got it, I don't know where I would have placed it because I don't have a space in my house. So I don't know what it would be. I probably would have purchased it, and I would probably just somehow maybe send it over to DC, and maybe would have a over on at the DC lab. That would have been potentially a good option, but I don't know if they will fit to the elevator. I don't know. So we'll see. Well, okay. Well, anyways, I think I've been live for an hour and 30. Actually, that's been kind of fun. I mean, also thank you guys for being here. I kind of learn a lot with you like, as well, trying to set up, especially that DSLR camera, which I'll be honest, I'm not very familiar with that camera. So, so yeah, thanks. Um, Next week, next Thursday, I'll be in DC teaching the master class. So that's going to be cool. So that's going to be my class for the house plants. So it's been sold out. So you cannot get more. We are sold out for that class. But if you're still interested in taking classes, the master classes, you can just sign up on I'm pretty sure we have a link down below for the classes where well, yeah, we want to have future classes, so you can just sign earlier. Um, but yeah, I mean, I got to take this microscope. Actually, I taken a lot of stuff with me. Actually, I had to drive. I usually fly, but I had to drive this time because I taking the microscope, which weighs like 50 pounds. I'm not take like I won't trust taking this on an airplane. Imagine taking this microscope on your carry-on. That would suck. Or like on your check bag, knowing how they treat your check bags is probably going to not survive this microscope. So taking the microscope, I'm taking the um, I'm taking my pressure cooker. I'm taking a lot more plants with me. Taking a lot of plants actually for the class as well. And yeah, I want to show you how to make media all the way from like the beginners. I want to show you I want to show you how to the materials to be your tissue culture lab, the the setup, how to set it up, how to make tissue culture media, like different types of media for houseplants, obviously. Um, Kind of on the second day, we're going to do like a lot of sterilization. We are going to I purchased a lot of plants. You saw kind of some of my previous videos. I purchased a lot of plants. So we want to sterilize some of those plants, get those in tissue culture. So I want to show like kind of the protocols on how to do that. I want to also show you how to do seeds and how to deal with contaminated plants as well, or like cultures. And on the last day, we're going to do a lot more of that. It's going to be a really hands-on. It's going to be a really intense 3 days. It's going to be a lot of hands-on. Also on the third day, we're going to do synthetic seeds, which let me show you some of those. So um, on the last couple of days, I've been working on kind of having working on making synthetic seeds, which they are normally used for like hemp or cannabis, but you can do it on any plant. So I made synthetic seeds for philodendrons. So I have like a white wizard, white princess, white knight, pink princess. So let me. Where is my phone? Oh, here it is. So here are the synthetic seeds. So I made it first. I made it like a really big because essentially what I did. It's going to be very difficult to see. I don't want to open because they are sterile. But essentially what I did, I took very small plants. So I took small plants and then I encapsulated. So these seeds are really big, a lot much bigger than what you normally do. With synthetic seeds, you normally do something like this. You can see they are a lot smaller. So you do the shoot tips, and you do the shoot tips on the microscope. So that's why I want to take in the microscope as well, because I want to show them how to do um, synthetic seeds. I will also show them how to do shoot tip culture, and we will do some apicomere stem. So we go all the way to the apicomere stem. So that's going to be for class. Um, that's going to be next week. So I'm very excited. I'm ready. I just waiting for the date. Um, I hope I don't get that much snow. I think looks like it may snow on my way there, but I think I should be fine. Um, yeah, and I know yeah, for the classes, I know a lot of people like they would like to. We got a lot of interest on the classes, and but it is difficult to travel to DC for a lot of you guys. It may be like too far, especially you are in other countries. So that's another reason like that why I'm kind of starting to say. Let me show you. Let kind of work on my setup where I mean you can see that's my monitor. So you can, it is connected to my laminar flow hood. You can see that's my face cam right there, which is just kind of an Insta360 camera. So that's my face cam. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of my other phone that I used to look on the stream. How my computer here is connected to the to the flow hood. You can see it is all the cables going through there. Now I can still keep everything, all of this stereo. I just had to, obviously right now it's kind of messy, all of this stuff that I have in here just to, I've been playing with. But yeah, I can essentially, I can do the classes from here in the future. Um, we'll see if you are interested in kind of doing classes virtual. Obviously, kind of being in person is, I feel like you can probably learn better. But I do have the capabilities of potentially doing the class from here, like maybe private YouTube videos or YouTube streams or private Zoom meetings where we can potentially do classes like that. So we're still um, on the process of thinking how we're going to approach that. How do we going to do that? But that's something that we definitely want to do because we did receive quite a lot of interest on or for the class for the master class, but there is a lot of people that cannot travel to DC because it's just too far or you're essentially out of the country. So thank you for let's see the biocopters. Those are those things look great. Actually, well, I'm kind of signing off for like a little while, but if you have a little more time, let me show you some of the biocoppers I just did. Uh, so this is last week stream. This is these are the Nepenthes, um, the Nepenthes truncata. So yeah, so these are great. I really like them. Um, Great for especially for plants that are really slow to grow. I mean, obviously all plants, but I would rather place plants that are really slow to grow in these biocouplers because you have a they grow much faster. So let me grab my phone. Let me show you. So here they are. So Nepenthes truncata. Um, yeah. So they're looking good. They're big. I mean, they're big. You can see my hand. They're big plants in the biocopper. These are the big jars. Um, the biocopplers. There's still some people can ask me questions about it. You can fit any regular size canning jar. Um, so these are the big ones. These are 1 quart, 1 US quart of a gallon. So that is, what is a quart? 32 ounces, which is close to 1 liter, like 900 and something milliliters. So I place each of these has 500 milliliters of media. So that's what they have in here. I usually recommend to do like halfway the volume, half of the volume of the jars to use to fill up with liquid media. That's kind of what I recommend. And the liquid this is liquid media, no gelling agent, but everything else is the same. Like the same way you make media, except that no gelling agent. That's the same way you work with this. So that's the way I'm working. You do this. And like I said, these are the big jars. Usually we don't sell them on these jars. That's something that I wanted to use big jars, so I purchased big jars separately. But we usually ship them with the 16 ounces, or you can purchase the biocoppers by yourself, and then you can get your own jars. Um, mm, but yeah, these are great. I found out that as soon as it gets to like a halfway, the plants like a cover the all the diameter. I think it's better to kind of divide and make it more biocouplers because the plants only grow to however big the jars are. So the more you split them, the more the faster you transfer to new biocouplers, the more plants you will get. With the biocoupler. So okay, so you asking me will the biocoupler threads fit a scotch tape? Oh, reage. Wait, what? Oh, it's Scott type. What kind of bottles are those? Like I said, these are mason jars or like canning jars. These are standard or regular size mouth. This is what these are. I'm not familiar with those types of jars. They don't come out to my mind. What kind of jars are those? Now, actually, I can. Well, let me see. Media bottles. No, they do not fit media bottles. I do have media bottles here somewhere. Well, not anymore. I kind of clean up and they are not here anymore. They are over there. But no, they don't fit. The media bottles are smaller. Actually, they are just over there. Let me show you. Yeah, here's a media bottle. So you can see the size difference. It's bigger. Could afford 200 biocopiers. Well, yeah, I mean you can. Um, the more you purchase, the more of discounts we can make. That's one thing to keep in mind. But obviously, I mean, 200 is still kind of a lot. So, I mean, you can always come back and purchase more. Um, but yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this live stream. I definitely did. Like I say, I learned a lot, and yeah, next. I don't know if I will have a video next week because, like I said, I'm going to be on the road. Well, not on the road, but Thursday I'm going to be teaching. So um, maybe if I have time, I may record a video, but I'm not sure on what. Or I may actually live stream there. After class, I may just kind of do a quick live stream from from the from the lab, and we'll see. Uh, See you from Australia. In Australia, what time? Well, it's morning, right? Well, it's mid afternoon in Australia now, I think. So yeah, that's good hour right now. People in Europe right now, I'm sleeping. There is it's late in Europe right now. But yeah, okay. Well, that's it. I will see you hopefully next week. Like I said, I may not be able to record a video, so I may just do like a quick live stream after class. So we'll see. We'll see if I can do that. Well, anyways, I hope you have enjoyed it, and then I will see you later. Goodbye.